What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gabriel Gaprod. Today I'm going to show you how to create electricity with Unity shader graph and how to use it inside VFX Graph. More precisely, how to create these electric orbs, or even how to possibly use this electricity shader with an object such as a character. This project is possible thanks to my patrons, and it's available there in my Patreon page, as well as many other assets that you can use in your games. Links in the description. So without further ado, let's jump right into it and let's see how we can create electricity. And I am using Unity 2020.3.16 with the Universal Render Pipeline. And in the package manager I have also installed VFX Graph and Shader Graph. And by the way, make sure you go to Edit and in Preference, in Visual Effects you turn on Experimental Operators / Blocks, so you can use Shader Graph with VFX Graph. And we are going to create something similar to this, so we want to start with the shader for the electricity itself. So with right click in a folder, let's go to Create, and in Shader we want to start with a blank shader graph. We can call it Electricity Shader and double click to open it up. I'm going to move the window to around here. And well, first thing we need is to tell it which target we are going to use with the graph inspector. In this version we can select visual effect and then we can say it's unlit. What really matters here is that we have the base color and the alpha input in the fragment function of the shader. From here, since it's a procedurally generated electricity, we can press spacebar, and as you can see we have a procedural section and we have noise, which is super useful. We can pick the simple noise, it's the one that will look best with the electricity, and as you can see we have a scale that we can control. For this variable we can create a property, a float, in the blackboard and call it electricity scale. If you select this property in the graph inspector now, we want to make sure that we rename the reference, that's the name it's going to appear in VFX Graph. I like to copy and paste the name and add an underscore. And for the default value, something like 15 is fine. Let's connect it to the simple noise. And now the trick to create electricity is to kinda saturate the white values and the gray values. We can do it with a remap node and say that the X, the 0 that comes in, which is black, it's going to be something like -2. And for the ones that come in, we can remap them to be 10. Super bright. And now once again with spacebar in the procedural section, we have shapes and we can use a rectangle. If we say the wide one, now the 8th is going to control basically how thick the electricity is going to be. We only need to connect the remap node to the UV of the rectangle. And as you can see, this value now controls the thickness, the wide. So let's create a property for that. A float, and call it electricity wide. Make sure you rename the reference, once again copy and paste, add an underscore, and this one is going to be a slider between 0 and 1. We can do this for the wide if we remap this value. For example, around -1 it's super thin, we don't see anything, and around 1 it doesn't get any thicker. So we can remap the electricity wide and say that the 0 that comes in, it's going to be -1. And the ones that come in can still be 1. You can connect this to the 8th and this will now control the thickness. Very nice. We have a nice start here. Now let's create a mask for this. Otherwise this will be a complete square. And we will have hard edges in our electricity. We can create a circular mask with a polar coordinate node. If we split this, we have the R and the G, and in this case the R, if we multiply it, as you can see, it's a black dot. In our case we need the opposite. We can use a 1-, for example. This mask that goes from white to black with all of these gray values, if we connect it here and then multiply this with a rectangle, what we get is a faded out electricity. This is all great, but we still need color, so let's create a property for that. Make sure you rename the reference, and for the default color You can choose white. In VFX Graph we are going to change it to a yellow or blue, whatever we want. Oh, and mode to HDR so we can control the intensity and multiply this with the last node. Then connect it to the base color. Okay, so now we can do something with this. Let's save this shader in the Save Asset button and create a VFX Graph with right click in a folder. You can rename it to VFX Graph _ electricity and then drag and drop it to the scene. To open this up, you can press the Edit button in the inspector. In here, you can press F to focus on the particle system. And now the cool thing is that down here in the output particle quad, we can use the shader graph we created. If you don't see this option, you can go to Edit and in Preference in Visual Effects, you can turn on Experimental Operators / Blocks. Now let's assign the electricity shader and as you can see, we still have a black background. Not quite useful, so it's very simple to remove it. If we go back to our shader, we can connect the node before multiplying with the color to the alpha. Alpha takes care of transparency. Like this, if you save and then play the particle system again, we get this kind of electricity. But yeah, we still need a few things. For example, it doesn't move, very static, and it's all the same. To take care of the movement, we need to go back here and animate the simple noise. In other words, we need to scroll this. So we can search for a tiling and offset node, and we want to use the offset part of this node. As you can see, if you connect it to the UV and move the offset, it's scrolling. Now to animate this, we need a time node multiplied with a vector 2. In this case, the vector 2 is going to be for the electricity speed. Don't forget to rename the reference, add an underscore, default value of -0.5 in the Y so we can see something, and then multiply it with the time, and connect it to the offset of the tiling and offset node. And that's it, it is animated now, but in some way it's still very static. We can see the pattern and there isn't much happening. So we kinda need to create chaos in this. It's very simple. If we copy all of these nodes, copy and paste with Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V up here, the only thing we need is to multiply these two together, these two simple noises, replace the connection to the remap, and since they are scrolling in the same direction, the chaos effect we are trying to achieve will not succeed. So there is a very simple trick we can do. With the electricity speed property, we can invert these values with the negate node. And now it scrolls in the opposite direction, in the X and in the Y. And that's all we need. If you look closely now in the front, nothing will show up, in my case at least, because the X value is being remapped to -14. We don't need to remap to such a lower value. We can instead remap to -2. And at this point the shader is done. We have electricity. We just need to know how to use it with VFX Graph or even with the old particle system. So if we save this shader and go back to VFX Graph, as you can see there is no randomness. And we also don't want this to go up. So let's remove the set velocity node in initialize particle and move it a little bit up in the Y so it isn't intersecting with the ground. And now down here in the output particle quad we have these properties of the shader that we can play with. You can search for random and you will find a random number. It's going to be between 10 and 15, turn off constant, connect it to the electricity scale, we get instantly randomness. A lot of noise, it's kind of confusing, that's normal. Because the lifetime, it's way too big. Lifetime between 0.1 and 0.2 is a better fit for this effect. Let's also make sure the Y is random, between 0.45 and 0.52, for example, of course. And connect it to electricity white, and yeah, we got something going on. Now if you want to adjust the size, you can use the set size, right here. Make sure the set size over life, the composition is set to multiply. And for the curve, we actually can select this one, that goes from 0 to 1. And the first key, we can push it above 0.75, so it grows a little bit. And now for the set size, we can say it's random. It's super small, as you can see, between something like 0.6 and 1.2. Oh, and the set color over life, you can remove it because we are going to control the color directly in the shader. Let's actually create a property for the color, and you can call it electricity color, for example. connect it to the color of the shader, and we can select whatever color we want. I'm gonna go with a yellow color. And then increase the intensity so it glows. In my case, it glows thanks to the global volume I have in my scene. You can also create one with right click, for example, and then you only need to create a profile and add bloom and all sorts of post-processing effects you wish. So this is kind of pretty much done. We got electricity going on. Now if you want to create something like an orb of electricity, it's very simple as well. All we gotta do is go ahead and create a group, electricity, you can rename it, and then with Ctrl C and Ctrl V, you can copy and paste the group, the entire group, and rename it to a flash. In this case it can leave longer like 0.15 and 0.3, and then down here we don't need the electricity shader. So let's remove it, and let's assign instead, remove all of these nodes, and let's assign instead the default particle, for example, that comes with all Unity versions. That's more than enough for this demonstration. We can say it's additive, we don't want any black values, and then with the set color, we can create a new color property and call it flash color, for example, and you can choose whatever color you want. I'm gonna go with the purple one to create something a little bit more interesting than everything yellow. Connect it as well to the set color. Here we go. It blends nicely thanks to the bloom. I'm gonna switch the curve so it goes from big to small, like this, and that's it. Now if you want some sparks, you can also do it easily by starting with the simple particle system. You can press spacebar to search for it. Create a group immediately and call it sparks. Change the default particle to the other default particle, this one. For sparks we need the orient block to be aligned with velocity. So now we are able to say that with a set scale it's going to be stretched in the X. As you can see, it's starting to look like sparks. We can also say this is random, the set scale, between 0.05 and 0.15 for the X and 0.8 for the Y. Of course you can try different values. And for the curve of the size of a life, you can go from big to small. And don't forget in the inspector to set it to multiply instead of overwrite in the composition. Otherwise it will overwrite any previous value. And now we can use a set size to control the overall size. We can also say it's random, between 0.1 and 0.5. Lastly, for the motion, and we can remove the set color of a life, say the blend mode is additive, and then for the set color we can create a new color property, a sparks color. Connect it and choose whatever color you want for the sparks. I'm gonna go with yellow with some intensity. And now lastly, for the motion of the sparks, we can go to the update particle, then use a conform to sphere. The particles will try to take the shape of this sphere. In our case we can increase the radius to 10 and say the stick force is 0. We just want them to go outwards. And the attraction force will control their speed, so we can say it's random between 20 and 50, for example. And then we can use gravity. And also use a random number for the Y between -2 and -9. Up here in the initialized particle we don't need the set velocity, we need a set sphere. So they start in a sphere shape, very small sphere, with a radius of 0.05. And that's it, the motion of the sparks is done. Now you can control how far they go by decreasing their lifetime or increasing their lifetime. For example, 0.2 and 0.5 will look better if you increase the capacity and then the constant spawn rate, for example to 50. We can also increase the capacity of the flash, looking good, looking very good, and the constant spawn rate of the flash to 30, for example, which is a bit too much by the way. And for the electricity we can also say the rate is 20, for example. It's just a matter of playing with these values. As you can see now we have an electric orb. You can use the electricity shader in a character as well. You simply need to go back to the shader, say it's universal, add an albedo texture, a normal texture, all of the PBR settings, and then you will still have the electricity options. So as you can see, this is how you can create electricity and use it in VFX Graph. This entire project is available on my Patreon page. In case you want to support me, you will get access to many more assets that are available there. And to every patron that supports me, thank you. And as usual, a quick shout out to the top tier patrons, which are Al, Alak Frost, Alex Berg Jones, Brandon, David Crew, David Mydlars, Derek Benson, Donald Thompson, Edward Shai, Goblin Plague, Jeremy Martin, Josh McCormick, Jules Klein, Maxim, Madhav Gupta, Mingao Zhu, Mograph Tech, Nat Sims, Oitsk, Ovi Sands, Radioactive Bullfork, Revenant Games, Roger Powers, Unknown Enigma, Verisuta, YY, Zared Redding, and Ingu Daz. Your support is very much appreciated, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. To everyone who watched it, I hope to see you in the next one. Leave a like and subscribe. And that's it. Thanks. Bye.